Okay, everybody, this is Rocket Rick J18 and bringing you another video today. I promise shorter than the last one. I got kind of carried away, but it was for good cause, 54 top set is a nice set. So today I'm going to talk to you about um, some oddball, and I use that term affectionately, smaller regional sets, whatever you want to call them. 1954 was a prolific year for food issues of all sorts, especially uh, meat products for some reason, but others as well. And I'm going to go through some of the cards that I have, and I will mention in passing only that there are other sets from which I do not have any cards. Some of these I have one of them I have the complete set. One of them I'm about halfway through to finishing a complete set. And the others I really only have a representative card. And I'm going to show those all to you. And then I'm going to refer to you to one of the experts in the field, the guy that probably knows more about food issues, or maybe has forgotten more about food issues than I'll ever know. And that's Dave Blue Jacket 66. He has an awesome collection of food issues, and he has done some outstanding videos, and including some of the sets I'm going to talk about today. His cards are, they're magnificent. I don't know how else to say it, and I know he hasn't shown all the ones that he has. But be that as it may, these are all the ones that I have, and some of them are in well loved condition. Some of them are look pretty good. But there's my goal is to get the cards in as good a condition as I can either A, find, or B, afford. And since I do collect sets, I have to be a little less picky about condition and a little more picky about price than, say, if I was only going after one or two or three cards from the set. So not to denigrate how other people collect, but this is just how I collect. So you can collect your own way. And if you are inspired to get involved in any of these sets by what you're about to see, then I've achieved my purpose. So without any further palaver on my part, let's get to look at some of the cards. And the first set that I'm going to show you is a complete set, and it's the Red Heart dog food ish. And so I am going to, every time I change the location or the view, the camera view, I have to reset it so that you can see it. So this is the first page of 5 where there are any cards to look at. And these are in 8-pocket sleeves because they are the more or less the standard size of cards of this era. Up through 1955, they were the, sort of, I think, 2.5 by 3.5 or 2 5/8 by 3.5, 3.25. I'm not sure exactly what the size of these are, but they're pretty uniform. They fit in these 8-pocket sleeves, and or more or less fit in it. some of them have a tendency to pop out around the edges, so I have to constantly be coaxing them back into position. So this is the first page card. These cards are not numbered. They came as premiums, as they're known in the advertising business, with packaged dog food, Red Heart dog food. And there are other dog food issue baseball cards. I think there's a Milkbone set, I'm pretty sure, that has Mark McGuire's dog in it. I've got 3 or 4 of those cards. But you're not going to see those today because they're not from 1954. So number one, in terms of the order, and these are all in alphabetical order, and that's how they're listed in the old Beckett guide that I use to as my checklist. And just to show you how I do this, let's take a look at the Red Heart page. You can see I go through and I black out or blue, ink out the boxes as I get the cards. And once I have got all the cards, then I put a checklist next to complete set. So this is and the size of the cards is 2 5/8 by 3 3/4. So that's how I do it. And then so the cards themselves, some of these are Hall of Famers, some of them are really good key players of championship teams, and others are more or less commons. So Hall of Famer on this page, Richie Ashburn. Cards from belonging to Brooklyn Dodgers teammates Billy Cox, the third baseman, and Carl Erskine, the great pitcher, or as he was known in Brooklyn, Oiskin, affectionately, and he accepted that affectionately. Alvin Dark was the I'm going to say shortstop for the Giants. Let's see if it says it just says infielder here. It might have been he might have been second baseman, but let's just settle on infielder. The cards were issued in 3 series. Well, not series, not in the sense, but with 3 different backgrounds, red, blue, and green. And there are the Stan Musial is a red card, really stunning. Mickey Mantle is a blue card. And then there are various and sundry other cards that are green, roughly about a third each. Although there are 33 cards in the set, and they may actually be a third each. So let's take a look at some more cards. Page 2 is again some Hall of Famers, some really good players. In fact, I would say all of these were really good players. Nellie Fox, of course, the Hall of Fame second baseman for the White Sox. George Kell, the Hall of Fame third baseman for the Boston Red Sox, formerly Cleveland Indians, with the Cleveland Indians. Ralph Kiner, newly with the um, Chicago White Sox, or Chicago Cubs, rather. Um, as you know, the story about Ralph, after winning 7 straight home run championships in the National League, um, he went to ask for a raise, and the then Pittsburgh general manager, who I believe was Branch Rickey, said, "You know, Ralph, we we came in last place with you, and we can finish last without you." And so he traded him and his contract to Chicago. And Ralph kind of got hurt, not mentally, but physically. And he had back problems for the rest of his career, which wasn't very long after the trade. So here he's pictured with the Cubs. He's in the Hall of Fame. And at the end, Hall of Fame pitcher Bob Lemon, who was really probably one of the featured pitchers along with Bob Feller, Mike Garcia, and geez, I'm missing one. Anyway, there were 4 really top flight pitchers with the Indians in this time period. Of course, 1954, they went to the World Series in 1954, eventually losing out to the New York Giants. Jim Gilliam, or Junior Gilliam, with the Brooklyn Dodgers. Jim Hegan, the Cleveland Indians. Harvey Keene with the Detroit Tigers. Ted Kluszewski with the Cincinnati Redlegs. 2 greens, 4 reds, 2 blues. And that's the first 2 pages of the Red Heart dog food cards. In the third group of cards, we have 3 green-colored cards. Sherm Lawler, the catcher with the Chicago White Sox. Billy Martin, the second baseman with the New York Yankees. Roy McMillan, the shortstop with the Cincinnati Redlegs. Those are the green-colored cards. The blue-colored cards, of course, are Mickey Mantle with the Yankees, Minnie Minoso with the White Sox, and Billy Pierce, the pitcher with the White Sox. And the red cards are Gil McDougall with the New York Yankees, and Stan Musial with the St. Louis Cardinals. So that's the third page of the Red Heart dog food set. The fourth page, which comes with Al Rosen of the Cleveland Indians, Red Schoendienst with the St. Louis Cardinals. Those are the red cards. The green cards are Hank Sauer with the Chicago Cubs, Duke Snider with the Brooklyn Dodgers, and this card, which is in a BVG Beckett holder, graded a 4. Really a pretty nice looking card. That's Warren Spahn. And the blue cards, Enos Slaughter with the St. Louis Cardinals, Sammy White with the Boston Red Sox, Eddie Yost with the Washington Senators. And I have taken a photograph of the card that is in the Beckett holder, a graded card, and put that in the place where it would have otherwise appeared in the regular set. So I've tried to do that. I haven't been as faithful to that process as I might have been, but I got around to this one, so that's good. And then finally, the fifth page and the 33rd card in the Red Heart dog food set is Gus Zernial, a slugger with the Philadelphia Athletics, also with the Boston Red Sox at different times. 1954 card, we're still talking about the Philadelphia Athletics. This was the last year that the team was in Philadelphia. The Athletics moved out to Kansas City and no longer appeared in 1954 cards. So that's the Red Heart food set. Nice to have. Glad to have it. Next set is the Dandy potato chip set, and it is I believe, 23 card set. The first 8 cards that I have, these cards are also not numbered, and therefore they would appear in alphabetical order. Mine are not in alphabetical order because I didn't really have enough, but now I'm getting close to really actually probably a little bit over half of the cards in this set. So I'm going to probably reorder them. Phil Rizzuto, Hall of Famer. Bob Lemon, Hall of Famer. Mickey Mantle, Hall of Famer. Here's Max Serkant with the Pirates in a BC in an SGC 1.5. Max Serkant. I also have a very rough ungraded 53 or 54 Max Serkant. So I have 7 players here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more for a total of 13. As I said, I think we'll just look it up here. I think there's 23 cards in the set, but I could be mistaken about that. Here we go, 1954 Dandy. There are 29 cards in the set. So I have 5, 9, 11, 13 of 29, not quite half. So when I get over half, I'll reorder them. But that's what I have to show you now. I usually try to focus on, this is a regional set, so not every team is represented. The Yankees are, of course, represented. The Indians, the Pirates, the Cardinals, and that's all of which are the ones that I'm showing you. The key card in the set is, of course, the Mickey Mantle. It is the same picture used on several of these other 54 sets, 53 sets, etc., particularly in the food issues. Mantle's in this image of Mickey Mantle appears in Stahl-Meyer cards and some of the meat issues. So, but I'm very, very, very pleased to have this Mickey Mantle Dandy potato chips. It's a pretty expensive card, and mine is in pretty reasonable condition, I think. Be interested to hear what you have to say about it. Phil Rizzuto, of course, Hall of Famer. Bob Lemon, a Hall of Famer. Red Schoendienst is a Hall of Famer. These are all Dandy potato chips. So hopefully I'll keep collecting these and have some more to show you at some point in the future. These are pretty uniform approach for the key cards. Mickey Mantle card, little staining on it. Phil Rizzuto, little rough. Bob Lemon's a little rough on the back, especially. So that's what I have to show you for the Dandy potato chips cards. Now I have a few other cards, a couple of other cards at least, to show you from other sets. Another food issue is the 1954 Wilson's Hot Dogs. And this is the Gil Hodges card from that set. Regrettably, it has some paper loss right in just on the side of Gil's face. But that explains why the card costs probably less than 20% of what it would otherwise have cost. So this is definitely the Wilson's Hot Dogs. Another set. This card is also included in the Mike Payne 300 cards, 300 best cards. And there are two Wilson's Franks cards in that set, Gil Hodges and Roy Campanella. I do not have the Roy Campanella, so you're going to get a chance to look at the Gil Hodges. And here is the back of the card. They're black and gray and shades of gray. And at the bottom it says Wilson and Company Inc., Wilson Certified Franks. And it has statistics on the back of the card, biographical, explanation, and statistics from the 1953 season. So that's Gil Hodges, one of the favorites among collectors of 50s era baseball cards. This is Warren Spahn. Strictly speaking, this is from the 1953 Johnston Cookies set. They made a similar set in 1954 and 1955. This is, I don't have any of the 54, 55s, and this is the only one from the 53 set. So I went ahead and stuck it in here, even though strictly speaking, it's not a 54 card. And on the back of those, you can see that, they're not entirely dissimilar, from the backs of the Dandy potato chip cards and the Wilson Franks cards. So we'll let you have a good look at those front and back. I love the Mike Payne's book and his depiction of cards from that set. And the last card that I have to show you is from the 1954 Stahl-Meyer set. It's in an SGC1, and it's New York Giants outfielder Whitey Lockman. Stahl-Meyer made sets for its hot dog products in 1953, 1954, and 1955. The key card in each of those sets is the Mickey Mantle. In halfway decent condition, that card is going to probably set you back $10,000 in any of those sets. And I believe the 54 is a little less common than the 53 or 55. But nevertheless, here we are talking about the Stahl-Meyer Franks set. Three of those 3 years. The middle year, this is the only card I have of any of the Stahl-Meyer sets. I do not have any of the New York Journal Americans from 1954. And I would love to have the mantle from that. It's a reasonably the cards from that set are reasonably available and not prohibitively expensive, as the Stahl-Meyers probably would be considered. That's the end of the 1954 food issues that I have. As I mentioned, there are two other food products that I'll mention to you. Hunter's Wieners, which is a St. Louis meat packer. I don't have any of those cards. They're very expensive. They're not often seen in halfway decent condition because they were packaged. The cards were actually part of the wrappers. Back in those days, they didn't have a lot of plastic. 1954. It wasn't nearly as ubiquitous as it is today, where everything comes wrapped in plastic, from chewing gum to toys to food products, etc., water bottles by the billions. Anyway, I won't go on about that, but nevertheless, with food products in this era, they often came packaged in paper that had been treated with wax or some other coating to make it slightly better presentable. Hunter's Wieners were a product of that type. Very expensive cards today. Briggs Meat, which is a Washington, D.C. meat packer, same thing, very expensive, not readily available. Just again, I refer you to Dave Blue Jacket 66 for his expertise, knowledge, collection, however you want to phrase it. He is the guy to go to for food issues in the 50s. There's no doubt about that, and many other things too, I might add. But there are others who collect different sets. And anyway, I hope that you enjoyed seeing these cards. They're not as readily available as other cards are through the 50s, so some of these you may not have seen before. And in any case, this is Rocket Rick J18, wishing that all your collecting dreams come true. I'm not going to say anything about your oddball dreams. I don't know anything about that, and frankly, no pun intended, I don't care to know. So you all take care, and seriously do wish you the best of luck in your collection.